chat with Carli. I wanna chat with Carli. I wanna chat with Carli. I wanna chat. I wanna chat with Carli. I wanna chat with Carli. I wanna chat with Carli. I wanna chat.
Carli and Box.
What's up, everybody? It's Carli and Box. Thank you guys for tuning another episode. I think this is episode 4 or 5? 5, yeah. 5 weeks. We've been going strong. It's been really fun. You guys been sending us a lot of interesting topics. This week we have a lot of interesting stuff sent over to us. And if you do want to send us things to talk about, we keep everybody's name anonymously. Please do send it to us. We've been finding these topics very interesting. Almost catch ourselves talking about them, off the podcast. But definitely, we love the interaction. Keep them coming through. So I will now pass it to Carli with our first topic. What do we got?
So one of our listeners actually hit us up early this week to talk about this. And like we said, we do keep it anonymous. I know some people don't mind not being anonymous, but we already open ourselves up kind of to the world. And when it comes to our people or even just followers that are they are engaged in all of my content, I definitely just want to put just that bubble around them to not open them up to be super vulnerable to people just having their opinions. That was the baby. He got his shots today. Y'all, you don't even know how many times we tried to record.
This is attempt number 6.
Bruh. Literally, so much keeps happening, and I'm just like, bruh, I just want to do it. But he definitely just woke up, so.
We got a visitor with us. He doesn't want us to record this thing.
He don't.
He just is giving us a hard time. But our first thing, and I'm going to read it. So a listener wrote and shared that her boyfriend is taking a college class on dating and relationships. And in the class, they study the difference between egalitarian relationships. And that's where both partners work and share childcare equally. And more traditional relationships, like one parent staying home, the other one works. The study followed couples who wanted to be egalitarian while they were in college and tracked them for over 6 years after graduation. Over time, many of those couples naturally shifted into more traditional roles, even if that wasn't their original plan, or they broke up because they struggled to find balance. So the question here is, how do we decide on our family and relationship setup? And I will take that first. So
backstory is that she was going based off of the podcast episode where it was around my birthday, and I was talking about pivoting and how my life went a little different than I expected. Not in a bad way, a lot of good things, but also a lot of things that I didn't expect happened, and a lot of things that I thought would happen did not happen yet, or maybe not, but I was just choosing to kind of move with this new age and getting closer to 30 with just pivoting and kind of letting God take control. So she's asking based off of that episode why we have a more traditional relationship in this day and age where it's not so common,
Yeah, so with this first question, how do we decide on a family and relationship setup? I think, one, I truly believe that no relationship is a one-size-fit-all.
Yeah.
So while we follow the more traditional route, people always ask oh, how do you do it? How do you do it? How do you do it? We just make it work. I think our strength is we're very adaptable, us both. And, whether we're both working or if it's just one person working, I think we're very good at adapting. And I'm not to say that it's a walk in the park. We're not saying that we just grace through this peacefully, but I definitely feel like God gave us wisdom to move through this the way we do. And I think this works best for our relationship because, we have somebody with our son that, I don't have to worry about who's with my kid. You know what I mean? It's I know he's with his mom. I know his mom's taking the best care of him, things like that. But I think ultimately how we decided on this was just that we took the engagement period, we took the beginning of our marriage, literally just day by day, month by month. We kind of just seen, what works, what didn't, and we kind of just fit the mold, made our mold of our family that would work best for us.
Yes. I think the misconception that people have is that I don't know, maybe. I feel like people have many misconceptions about me, though. They don't know what I do.
They
think I'm
talk.
a nurse. They think I'm just like, still in school, so this and that. And it's, honestly, I don't care. I prefer it that way anyway. And this is like a kind of vulnerable-ish topic for me. Because I'm just the type of person where I don't like to speak on things until like I kind of get through them sometimes. So I could just, be like, oh, all right, I got through that.
Yeah.
Good or bad, let me tell you my experience, So like to be actively in it and giving like, like advice, I guess, is kind of hard.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the misconceptions. I have 2 degrees. I have a biology degree and I graduated with minors in chemistry and public health. And then I also have a master's degree where I graduated with a master's in biomedical sciences. So that's 2. Like, I didn't just graduate college and just went into straight stay-at-home wife, stay-at-home mom mode.
But even before you get into that, I feel like we live in a time now where it has to be like, like, okay, I have this many degrees. This, like, it doesn't even have to be that. I truly feel like,
it doesn't.
Because what purpose does, like, all your degrees, all your accolades outside your family, which are great, mean though if, like, the family is not at its best form? And not to say that everybody should just, I'm not saying everybody should just stay at home, one person stay at home.
Yeah,
no, but I just think that this job is like, her job is very hard.
Yeah.
And I think that,
it's
like,
just to give the people the context, the backstory of, like, kind of where I come from. Or
but even that, I don't think it gets enough credit of, like, how much goes into, like,
that's true.
The home.
Stay-at-home mom, it's a job.
Kids. Yeah.
It's a job.
It's hard.
It's a job. And it's even more, I don't know. We'll get to that. But you're absolutely correct. Like, this is really hard. And I think because of the, like, it's not as common as it used to be, like, that's why it kind of gets looked down upon. Not that it didn't get looked down upon back in the day. It definitely did. It's just, it was just more common back in the day for women to stay home with their kids. And now, and that was the norm. It was more of the norm. Like, still, like, you're going to have your people that are like, whatever, you don't do anything. Where now it's like, we moved into a more, like, independent woman.
Yeah.
And I am independent, but, like, also,
Yeah.
I stay at home. But we moved more into that era to where it's kind of like it ends up, just because I am, stay at home, like, as of now. And I keep saying as of now because I'm still in that pivot mindset of, like, wherever God kind of leads me is where I'm going to go. So that's why I keep saying as of now. But we live in a society now where it's like, just because someone is like pushing that independent, blah, 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 it's like, it kind of is like to poop on the ones that do choose to raise their kids and stay at home. And I'm like, why can't just both coexist equally? Like, you be that, independent woman that goes to work, gets their money, gets on their grind. And also, there can be an independent woman that's also chooses to be the stay-at-home mom that's still on her grind, takes care of her kids, and that's it. Like, both of them can coexist. And here's the thing. I think also the reason why, like, a lot of people have a problem kind of, like, or look down upon the stay-at-home wife, stay-at-home mom thing is because in their minds, like, that the dad doesn't have that dad role anymore. And it's like, yes, I do it, but he also works and he also is still a dad. Like, I'm not doing it on my own. Like, this is where I guess we differ from a lot of people, where as dads, some dads that have stay-at-home wives and stay-at-home moms, they just come from work and it's like, well, I did my job for the day. Let me hop in the bed. Whereas, let me literally clock out. This is your job, so this is your job 24/7, period. And there's that distinct separation, whereas you come home and you're actively a dad. Like, I still have that, like, you're raising your child too. Like, it just doesn't stop just because this is my role and this is your role, which I love. Like, I think that's where people don't, that's why it probably kind of is looked down upon more nowadays too, is a lot of dads are just expected to just stop their dad role and be a provider, and that's it. But there's providing in all aspects. It's not just financially.
And I'm going to say a real harsh take. And I think, you know, married, unmarried, like it goes for everybody. Honestly, if you're not ready for there to be a point in time in your marriage where like something hits the fan, because trust me, there will be something. Like your marriage is constantly tested. If you're not ready for a point in your time, and this is man or woman, for somebody to have to be like, okay, this person can't work, you got to carry the load. Like you're truly not ready for marriage, and I'm gonna say that just clear as day, because I feel like, you know, life comes so unexpectedly. What if your partner gets sick? What if something happens? Like the whole point of marriage is for you guys to work as a team, to work together and share a common goal. And I feel like the idea of just like, all right, you know what, you're gonna go get the money, I'm gonna go get the money too. It's like, all right, so what room are you guys leaving for, you know, your kids or this or that?
Yeah.
I get it. You could have enough money. All right, maybe instead of, you know, mom being home or instead of dad being home, we got a nanny now. We got this now, we get this now. But at the end of the day, at least for me, my goal is for my kids is to be raised and grow up and be like, yo, I want to come back home, or I want to stay home. Not to say like I want them dirty in my crib, but like I want them to like have good relations with us and not just be like a, all right, yeah, like my dad was always working, my mom was always working. Because unfortunately, a lot of us grew up like that, and it's not to their fault, but it's just that, like,
and
you know,
you had
to make it work.
Working and going to church all the time. So
exactly. There was really the family time was there, but it was after school, church, work. So it was at the very bottom. But
literally, it was not the priority for sure.
I think we definitely, you know, I'm not saying that like this is our dream life, like, but I definitely know that we both share the goal of like we want family time to be first. We want our kids to be priority. We want our home to be priority outside of everything else. Truly, like, you know, like she said, I'm going to work. I'm not going to work and be like, yo, this is my job for the home. I'm gonna come back home and clock out. I'm going to work like, yo, I'm doing this for my family, and then I'm gonna go home and still like be a father, be with my family, because I think we're so family oriented. The goal is bigger than just like, okay, you stay home, I do this. Like the goal is like, how do we build the best family in the best way we can?
Yeah, and a lot of the adults that you're talking about that, you know, come back home and want to be with their parents, a lot of them come from high effort parents. I've been talking about that a lot the past couple weeks about high effort mom, high effort dads, like of how and I just been saying I want to be a high effort mom.
Yeah.
I had a high effort mom, and I want to be a high effort mom, and you're a high effort dad, period.
Yeah.
I just feel like that's why it's also important to choose the person that you're with, but don't only choose them based off of just the superficial stuff. Like, do you see them as a dad? Like, to your future children, it's easy to see someone as like, oh my gosh, it's my man, it's gonna be my husband. Do you see them as a dad on top of being your man, your provider, your this, that, and the third? Like, do you see them in the roles that you kind of have expectations of, and will they fulfill that, like, genuinely? I think that's super important. It's easy to sit here and say, but are you doing that? Are you really looking at that person on a broader aspect, like he said? And if you're not thinking of certain things, you're really not ready to be married. And that's period, point blank. Because best believe, I feel like we're so in tune with this that tomorrow, if I decide to work, and let's say I'm making a crazy salary to where you're like,
I'm staying home.
Yeah, and listen, I'm genuinely okay with that.
Listen, the moment, because this gonna happen, the moment, you know, she become a gazillionaire. Yeah. I'm kicking my feet up. I'm gonna wash the dishes. I already, you know what I mean? I already do. Yeah, the dishes, the bottles, my thing. But I'm gonna be sweeping, doing everything. Yeah, and
cooking, guess what? I won't look down at him at all.
And I would not be punching in, because like, I don't even care. Like, at the end of the day, if the bills are being paid and then it's just like, yo, we have time for our family,
each other,
like, and
each
other,
like to be with each other,
then it is what it is. I don't care if she gonna work, I'm gonna work. It do not matter. Like, I will swap roles. And a lot of guys, and I'm gonna touch on this too, a lot of guys, you know, if you joke about with a guy, like, listen, if your girl making $1 million a year, like, you staying at home, a lot of guys low-key have a pride issue where they're like, yo, I can't. And I think, you know, as a man, you want to be the provider. And money is like the biggest way we could possibly think of, like, okay, how am I providing for my home? But honestly, there's a lot of ways you can provide for your family. And realistically, you could be bringing in all the money in the world for your family, but you're still not a provider.
Yeah.
Like, you know, to a certain extent, you're providing financially, but are you providing emotionally? Are you providing, you know, your presence, your support? Like, I think, you know, it's a struggle with a lot of men too, in that aspect. But that leads to my next question. I'm going to ask this in a more general sense, just what we see with the world. So how do you see, how is this, or why do you think this changed over time? Because like back in the day, traditional was like huge. Like, it was the main thing. Why do you think this changed in a society where it's like, yo, no, two people have to work and that's that? Is it because life's so rough that, you know, it's just people think that it got to be that, or is it like
things are definitely more expensive, so that's why a lot of people do have no choice but to work. And also, like, it's sad. It's true. It's truly sad. We already don't get enough time off after having a baby. I seen a TikTok the other day. This lady she only has 6 weeks, and she had to bring her 7-week-old to daycare. So that's another expense. Everything is expensive, and you really have to live. So I get that's why, like, two people, you know, decide to go to work. I think too, like I was saying earlier, it's just the movement of just like strong, independent woman. Like, yes, I am a strong, independent woman, but you can also have a soft life too. So, like, you know, we definitely work a lot. Women, we definitely work. We definitely work in all aspects. And staying at home is work, like I said. But I think that too, just that movement of like feeling like you have to be so independent.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a big push. Like, women are more career driven now, which is a good thing. But then it also kind of like pushes everything back. Like, you know, a lot of women, they want to focus on their careers early on, which is okay. They're like, maybe family, kids, everything I'll push later on in life. And, it like men kind of like, and I'm not saying men are not on their P's and Q's, but a lot of men, they feel subconscious like, if she makes more money than me, or she's doing this, that, I'm not marrying her. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing that.
Which is so
weird. And it's a touchy subject, but honestly, like, I think that's the reality of it, the harsh reality. A lot of women are career driven, and a lot of men have an issue with a lot of career driven women, which I see. And two, also, I feel like a lot of more men too, they don't want to hold that role of like providing, because like we joke about this all the time. Like, if we was young, like, 2000s, 1990s,
maybe we would have had a mansion.
The fathers have like, they have like a family here, a family in another country, 3 houses, 10 cars, like, and that's all off a little 40K salary.
Literally.
So it's like, now again, life is very hard. You know, you have to kind of put more effort in a lot of places. A lot of men don't want to carry that role, and they don't see the benefit of doing so.
Yeah.
They don't think it's worth it, in their opinion. We live in a society where everything's like quick, gimme. Everything's at our fingertips. We could get whatever we want. So it's like we're declining, the delayed gratification of like, all right, work hard, build up a family, pour into your kids, things like that. Like, a lot of people, especially men too, don't see the purpose in that. So honestly, it's sad, but that's just the way life is moving. But you don't have to conform to that. If you want to be different, I know that's not what I want in my life. So when I got married at 24, people were like, oh, they're this, they're that. But they were thinking with the lens of how the way the world is now. But
and also, like, just a lot of projection.
Yeah, that's true.
Whatever they like were at our age, however they were.
Yeah.
And that's just it. I think for 24, even in the fiance era, even before then, you were very much so on you asked me, you were like, I remember seeing that text, and you were just like, how would you feel, if you stayed at home? And I was very much so like, no, because, you grow up hearing like, don't depend on a man, don't rely on a man, he will do this, he will do that, he will do this. And a lot of it was because of and I would hear that from so many different types of like women, adults, when I was younger. And a lot of it was based off of their own experiences of a man just kind of, throwing it back in their face, or just like, just kind of, it was just bad. Their experiences were bad.
Like,
So, I think that's where they were going based off of, which is not their fault. That's what they know. So they're going to give that, what they feel like is their, truths to you and advice.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I think I took that and was just like, yeah, nah, I can't depend on a man and this and a third. But I want to be a mom. Like, I want to raise him. Not that I can't be a mom and work. And again, like we were talking about pivoting. If it comes to that, we're going to have to pivot and adjust. And that's going to be our life. And then we'll have a whole new topic to talk about.
Yeah.
But for now, like, I want to be his first teacher. I want to raise him. He be having lessons plans, y'all. We are very much so involved, but he also has someone else here too that is also raising him. I'm not raising him by myself, and I think that's what makes it even better. Yeah, genuinely. So yeah, do you regret it? That's the other question.
So do I regret? No, I don't regret it, because I think this season you learn a lot. Well, marriage alone, regardless of your traditional whatever, you learn a lot about yourself, and you learn a lot about the other partner. People always tell you that, but you don't know the depths you really get into it until you're in it. But I think that us taking this route, I don't know. I feel like we trendsetters. Like, I feel like we pioneers. Like, I don't know. And this is, I may be a little bit cocky. And again, I'm not to say like our life is peaches and roses all the time, because that's not reality. But I feel like we hear the noise from the outside, but we always, like, people don't know like how we make stuff work. And I think that mystery, I think that mystery, like, I'm okay with that.
I'm okay with it too, because it's not anybody's business.
Yeah, it's not.
For real.
And it's like I love our life. Like,
me too.
We have a lot of fun. We spend a lot of time together. We do a lot of things together. And him in the picture now, like, he knows us both. Like, he loves us both. Like, he
know his dad. He and his, I want to say, sleeping with my dad era.
He's sleeping with me now.
He left me.
He will scooch over in the bed. Well, our doctor can hear this.
She gonna be like, you guys need to put him in the basement.
No, but he loves sleeping with me now.
He scooches over literally, like, to get close to him, to just snuggle up with him, and he knows his dad. I don't know, if you weren't as involved, I don't think he would do all that. Yeah, and I honestly really think God gave us a lot of grace for this lifestyle, because, like, just, obviously me getting married at my age, going to this fresh, like, I'm scared. Like, I'm not going to say like I was just confident the whole time, but every time where I'm like, okay, like, God, this is what you put me in. He makes it work. He always gives us grace. There's never a time where we lack. There's never a time where it's like, yo, like, we got to be on the streets. We got to do this. We got to do that. Like, God gave us a lot of grace for this lifestyle. And I think he wants us in this for this season. And, maybe it's for this exact reason, which is him right here. And to answer and help other people. Yeah. That's why we got the question in the first place. Yeah. We're living our life the way God intended it to be right now. Yeah. And that's just what it's going to be. At the end of the day, I feel like at every stage in our relationship, it was, is he the right person? I remember somebody asking me that after the engagement. Mm-hmm. It's, aren't you guys too young? Oh my gosh, Emmanuel, like, are you struggling? Yeah. This, that, and third. I feel like every single time throughout our relationship, there has been like naysayers for some odd reason. And it's just like, you can't naysay on what God put together. Yeah. You didn't put us together. God put us together. We were sure of it. We prayed. We fasted. And it's not that we don't seek wisdom, but usually the naysayers are genuinely people that do not know us. Yeah. And it just be like, why are you even questioning something that you literally have no clue about? Exactly. We seek the wise counsel when we need to seek wise counsel. Especially from like parents. Yes, like especially our parents. Don't get my mom started. She be the number one. She be in our ear with stuff, okay? Don't get it twisted. Like, I just think that because we don't try to prove anything to those naysayers, God honestly just works. Yeah. And I think that's why it really doesn't get us to our deep core, even when it does bother us sometimes. Yeah. I don't think it truly hits because, all we have to do is reflect. Anytime, like, the enemy tries to, like, confuse your mind or use people to, like, talk about you, you really got to sit down with yourself and, like, look at how far God has brought you in the first place. And that's it. You don't even need to say anything. You don't need to rebuttal. And it's just like, pay it does. Pay whatever they said does. So yeah. So the last question, so what advice do we give to couples who are, looking to get married, don't know what they're gonna do, debating this
traditional or
Egalitarian.
yeah, what would be your main advice?
I would say honestly, just do what feels right for you. This is what works for us. If
Mm-hmm.
you are a person where you know that eventually, you just know how your life is going to go, whether it's after school or you're done, you finish school and you're like, I'm done, I did what I need to do, and the degree was just your goal and that was it, which is okay. Like, just live your life the way you want to live it, and what works for you and what fits and what makes sense. And I think the thing is, you just have to have unity in your relationship.
Yeah.
It has to be like what you guys both want. If it's a thing where one person wants it and the other person doesn't, it will lead to resentment.
Yeah.
And you don't need that. That's what causes a lot of these relationships to break up, is honestly resentment. It's not putting it out there. You have to be, like I had said, I think on the relationship episode, it was just like, present everything, be raw and bare with your person, because that leaves no room for confusion, miscommunication, and genuinely talk. If this is the person where y'all were, I guess, courting and y'all know that God pushed y'all together, have those serious conversations even before that ring comes on, because
honestly,
y'all could be the best people ever, just not the best people for each other.
Yeah.
And that's just that.
Honestly, that's well said. I'm gonna give two sets of advice. One is direct, one is more open. The open advice kind of mimics what you said. Definitely see God and, have these conversations. Let it be, a thing of like, hey, what do you think will look like, whatever. And honestly, bring your career aspirations up front. Like, hey, if I want this, I want that. Like, let it be known. But just know, marriage is always a sacrifice. And I'm not saying you have to sacrifice your career. But when you get married, you guys decide to live for each other. And I don't think that clicks enough. So a lot of times, you think that it's just like, I'm going to go into the marriage and do my thing, but just with this person. It's like, no, you're going to go into the marriage and do something because you have to take care of a person or because you have obligation to your family. So keep that in mind.
You really die to yourself in marriage.
Yeah, you do. And maybe more direct advice for maybe people who want to look towards the traditional route. Definitely live off one income, even if both are working. So if there's ever a time of like, hey, one wants to stop working, one gets sick, God forbid, or one gets laid off, God forbid, it's not like a shake to your finances. It's not a shake to your world. Because then at the end of the day, I feel like, two people working is a blessing. But sometimes you spread yourself so thin when you both are working, where it's like, yo, like, if one of us can't work, if one gets sick, then, we're shattered. So it's like, my direct advice is live all the time. If both working, if not, as if you're off one income. And I think you'll always just have that room to like kind of pivot depending on the season. If you have kids, if the kids need a little bit more attention, if you got to be, one person has to be home with them, you don't want to do daycare, whatever it is, that's my direct advice. But that's a great topic. And
that was great. Thank you so much for sending that in.
Yeah, and before we move to the next one, definitely leave your comments what you think about this topic. Yeah, it's a very interesting topic that I feel like is not talked about enough.
It's not, and I feel like we're young, and it's definitely more old school.
Yeah, it is old school talk, but
and we might get people that are like, oh no, I could never, and that's okay.
That's okay. If it don't work for you, it don't work for you.
Yeah.
But moving on to more lighted stuff.
Yeah.
I'm going to. So I seen something online, and it's so funny that like. So Rap Caviar tweeted this, and I was looking. I'm like, it's kind of funny that they tweeted this because it's very true. So it says, hip hop needs new leaders. Historically, a new group of rising stars has established itself as hip hop's pace setters every 5 to 10 years. By 2016, we had the Drake, Nicki Minaj, Kendrick, J. Cole, and others have cemented themselves as leaders of 2010s. A decade later, several talented artists have shown promise of becoming rap's next big thing, but they've yet to follow in our Mount Rushmore's footsteps. New superstars are essential to the health of the genre, so leaders must rise alongside today's icons to push hip-hop forward. Who's going to lead hip hop's next generation? Are there contenders? But who will take the next steps? So I think this is so funny because, when you look at the 2010s and, the golden year, 2016, even up until maybe right before COVID, there was definitely always like the stamped people in music, the very much like golden people were like, yo, they're dropping, they're selling a lot of albums a week. They're getting a lot of listens. You're going to hear it everywhere, whatever. But I feel like now, being that we're such in an era where everybody is so connected that there's no celebrities. Like, we lost focus. Like, we're not really focused on the main celebrities, quote unquote.
Say social media ruins everything.
Yeah, like everybody's an influencer. Everybody's a star. So like stardom has generally died. And I don't think we're ever going to see a top artist. Like, even now, who do you think's like the top artist? Like right now, that's like really like, okay, this person's huge. And they're dominating like the past few years. I generally don't know one. I don't know. I'm trying to think. Like, there's none.
Yeah.
And it's like, I think there's so many, especially
like as far as rap, no.
Let's say even rap, hip hop, R&B, like what's like big names that are like consistently
like a
superstar.
There's stars and there's superstars.
So like
Michael Jackson was a superstar.
So like, exactly. But even if we're not talking Michael Jackson level, because I feel like even that level, the 2010s could never match that. So it's like we drop down every 10 years or so. But who's at least close to like a Drake or like a Lil Wayne when we were younger? Like he was like huge. Who's like close to that right now? Nobody, right? I don't. Maybe you guys know some people, but I feel like, I don't know. I think TikTok kind of killed that.
Everything.
Instagram killed that.
I think we're definitely in an age of one-hit wonders.
Yeah.
Because of TikTok. Like, I don't even listen to like the rap of nowadays. I think if I know a rap song, it's literally, I guess, through you or like it's viral on TikTok.
Yeah.
Like, I don't go searching for it. I listen to like old stuff.
Yeah.
So old. Like literally like the Drakes and the Lil Waynes that stuff.
Literally.
But yeah, like there's none. And I think too, it's because the last couple of years it's been about rap beefs so much. Like, yes, there were rap beefs at the time, like back in the day. But I feel like there was just much more unity. Like, even us talking about Drake, Nicki Minaj, Lil Wayne, all them, they were all in Young Money. Like, Lil Wayne pioneered, like, a whole bunch of rappers together. He wasn't being stingy. He put a whole bunch of rappers together. And if they got bigger than him, they got bigger than him. And he was okay with that. Like, he, like, helped push in this, like, new class and stuff. With Young Money, like we know the Young Money, Cash Money crew, like
that was
like that was such an era, but there was unity back then. Where now it's all about beef. It's this person versus this person. It's Meg Thee Stallion versus Nicki Minaj. It's Cardi versus Nicki. It's Drake versus Kendrick. It's then J. Cole, but J. Cole wants to get out of it. It's like it's so many beefs. It's just like, dang, can y'all come together? Like, and then again, social media just ruins everything, and I think the rise of social media too kind of amplified the beefs more, like way more. Not that there weren't any back in the day, but I definitely feel like the fans have made a lot of the beefs worse. Like now Drake, he not even doing a tour in the U.S. He's staying in Canada, y'all.
Drake don't.
And then it's so funny. People in the comments like champagne poppy, it wasn't me.
Honestly, Drake was the artist of the decade too, right?
Yeah.
He was literally the artist of the decade. So like,
look, I still love some Drake during the I was on neither side. Okay, I like both songs.
But Drake was literally like I'm not gonna say he was closest to our like. As far as stardom, he was closest to like Michael Jackson. Chris Brown, people could debate that all day, but I don't think he was, just because of everything and how he's still like big. He's huge, but like Drake is probably one of the cleaner ones. He had his beefs, he had his everything, but he always like still sold a lot of records, still had a big fan base.
I'm still a Drake fan.
But I think too though, what I like about there being no more stars, like it really lets us listen to small artists that generally make better music than a lot of these big stars. Like I would say ever since even like, leaving high school, I found so many good smaller artists like just growing. And I feel like indie wasn't like, or alternative people or like small artists, even smaller rappers and everything like that, they didn't get that much light because we were just so focused on the stars. I feel like now we could really like dive deep into these small artists that are really putting good music out.
But does that make them stay small? Because now that everybody's trying to look towards like smaller
They're fighting
artists,
for an audience.
do they just stay that way?
Honestly,
they stay where they're at. How can they become superstars? Or they can't.
I don't think they can.
Yeah.
I think you just have to build your little, your niche following of people
And just be okay with that.
Be okay with it. Yeah, because like there's no more stars. So it's like if you want everybody to listen to you, it's like, for what?
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
That's
like
true.
But I like that though, because I feel like you could really be more connected to an artist. Not saying you gotta talk to them every day, but like you could really like just follow the trajectory of their career in more of like they're not too mainstream or they're doing this, they're doing that, because
they
probably
don't get too big when they start getting demonic.
Exactly. Like when you see an artist or you see them start small and then like they start growing and
it's just like
I don't know, maybe
the artistry's not there anymore.
Yeah, but I don't know, maybe it's a good thing. I don't think there will ever be stardom again unless the internet go away.
Yeah. Honestly, I think like I will always say, like, social media just genuinely ruins everything, and we use it every day. I don't know when there'll be a next star, like superstar, like Celine Dion. That's a superstar.
Yeah.
Like certain people, they are superstars, international,
now.
Worldwide known. Like, child, we'll see. Ain't no Mount Rushmore of anything like they said. It's just we're just not in that era right now. Maybe
not at all.
Maybe during Noah's generations they'll be they'll be able to say somebody that's starting up now is a superstar. So, but yeah. So moving on to the next topic, we had another listener give us just a question that they wanted our take on. So this says, what should I do if my favorite coworker, who is like my little sister, keeps telling me about how her boyfriend that she lives with abuses her? She is constantly telling me what's going on with her. No changes, no matter how much you encourage her. Should I set a boundary? Should I tell someone, or should I mind my business? Manny.
Mind your business for 500, please.
Yeah, like I have my own take on this, but I definitely want to hear your thoughts first.
Yeah, I think her saying that she it's like a little sister to her, so maybe they're very close, and that's totally okay. Like you could have close friends that you meet from work, and I'm totally here for it. I have a lot of good friends from work as well.
Yeah,
but I think there's a level of like, okay, this is work, this is your personal life. There got to be a line. At the end of the day, there got to be a line. Seeing it from a point of like, you don't want, your workplace and personal life to mix, because we always say work-life balance, but a lot of times, like, we bring your personal life into work, so there's no work-life balance.
Yeah.
If you truly want to, like, just have work be work and, personal life be personal life, if you're this person listening to the other person vent about their abuse, which is sad, but, like, if you don't think it's healthy for your work environment, honestly, I'd say be vocal about it. And, like, honestly, it kind of mind your business. Like, I would encourage the person, though, to go see a therapist, because you telling me this and we work in the same job. Like, I don't know.
I don't know if you about to pop up in here.
I don't know if I could help you if we're doing the same job. But I think, I would encourage a person to see a therapist. But, like, from work standpoint, like, not to be that boomer type of mentality, but work is work, man.
Yeah, I think I'm like, it's not even boomer. I think you're looking at it from a more corporate stance, because you definitely try to be as professional as possible.
Yeah.
I look at it from just like a stance of just, I've seen so many stories on TikTok of just like people that have been in similar situations as this listener, of just like they were the ventee that the person was venting to, and like, they ended up in something, and they ended up probably getting physically hurt, or it just got so far to the extent of the ventee being killed, because they try to help out, they try to intervene as much as they can. And this is such a touchy subject. We definitely don't agree with, just domestic violence ever. Any type of abuse.
Yeah, no.
Just like, we're definitely not with that. I think with this person, the reason why a boundary should be set, because it statistically, I believe it takes up to 8 times before a person finally leaves, if nothing drastic happens before then. And literally, she has to kind of like be in a position to be able to do it. Like, there's absolutely nothing that, like, in words that you could say besides advice of, like Manny saying, I guess, seeking professional help. Telling her, advising her to call the authorities, all that. But even with that, it's like, it's just like, you don't want her to be in danger, and then you also don't want you to be in danger as well, because these things can get very sticky, especially if this person knows where she works. It could be a thing of her just being like, my coworker told me I should do this, I should listen to her. Her name is this, and that's all it takes. Like, people nowadays, people will snap if you honk a horn at them on a parkway nowadays and just shoot you up. Let alone what, you never know what a person can do and just come and, like, you know, like, to her job and just be like, oh, so what's your name? You're that coworker. And then it's
come for you.
You know, like, and it's really just for your safety, for that person's safety, to genuinely just give that advice, seeking professional help, because at the end of the day, you're not a therapist from what I've seen in the question. Well, we know you're not a therapist. If y'all
work in the same job, you're not a therapist.
You're not a therapist, and, like, just leave it at that. Like, you're not a therapist and you're not the police.
And I even think, too, like, and I'm saying this because you don't really know the depth of the situation.
Yes,
you know just a little bit.
What she's telling you at work.
Exactly. So you don't know if they're connected, if she has to be with this person because of financial reasons or whatever, all that. But bringing, like, you know, escalating this to whomever or whatever, or even if you go to the police, like, you don't know how that's really affecting that home. I think it's best if you just
a little bit more.
a little bit more danger. And I'm not saying, like, she should stay in an abusive relationship, but again, just because you do not know what it entails, like, that should really just be your main thing of, like, yo, leave that to, like, a professional. Encourage her, if anything, to go see a professional. But at the end of the day, I would still tell her, like, hey, listen, I don't think this should be a workplace conversation. This is a serious matter. I think you should, as a friend, you should go get some help.
Get help. I think you should genuinely get help, because, like you said, like, if the limit stops here, we don't hang out outside of work. There's really so much you can do, genuinely. We don't hang out after work. We don't hang out in just real life. Like,
honestly, that's true. Like, if I still think like this, like, if I haven't hung out with you outside of work,
it's just
like,
a different parameter.
It's like different. Like, I hung out with you outside of work, like, you're my friend. But, like, if we're just talking in work, and it's really just when I clock in, like, hey, what's up, this or that, like, listen, it's a work relationship, and you have to really kind of navigate it in the most professional way. It doesn't matter if it's a corporate job, whatever job, you got to just really be professional about that. And again, abuse is
give them
serious.
Advice and genuinely pray for her. Like, that she's able to get out this situation. Should we hope that she's able to get out of this situation with no harm done to anyone. Like, at all, and justice for her. Like, you know. So moving on to something lighter, but not like ish at all.
It's like we go from, like, a little bit serious.
To light, I mean, this is serious. It's not even light for us. So I don't even know why I said light. But so the Baftas happened, I believe, last week or over the weekend. And if you don't know what the Baftas is, it's basically like the British Oscars. And Sinners, which we have not seen, y'all. We have not seen
Sinners, y'all.
Sinners won, or they were presenting an award. I believe it was Michael B. Jordan and I don't remember the other actor's name, but y'all, he was in that movie, the Christmas one, This Christmas. He was in This Christmas. The dad that was in This Christmas. Him,
the stepdad?
Yeah, the stepdad.
What's his name in the movie again?
I forgot. Oh, my gosh.
I only know Madeir.
Yeah, Madeir. Yeah, like, he was in This Christmas and Michael B. Jordan. So they were, I believe, I don't know if they were accepting or presenting an award. And this actor named John Davidson, who is a Tourette syndrome activist, shouted out the N-word while they were up on the podium. If you didn't see that, it's literally all over. Go and watch it. But some people are, so he issued an apology, but he was just saying that it's because of his, the Tourette's that made him say what he said. And a lot of people are like, okay, why is it with Tourette's that a lot of people, like specifically white people, have that? Like, why is
I don't know, like, because again, I'm not well versed in Tourette's. Like, I don't know like how these tics are like built up or made, but like I'm assuming it has to be heard or maybe said, or it's just like
why is that in your repertoire?
And I don't even want to like be disrespectful, but like, come on, like that was it a hard ER?
I think it was, when I heard it. I don't. It was, he was far away, but you could hear the nip, like that part. But I don't know if it was hard ER or like.
I don't know, man.
Either way, it's like, I don't know. I feel like his apology kind of gave like, and even the Baftas, I believe, apologizing. They were like, understanding that this is a syndrome. Like, we respect all actors. They apologize, on behalf of him as well, and just was kind of like, guys, he has Tourette's, please, and it's just like, no, why is it always that? Because someone else screamed Free Palestine during the broadcast, but they were able to bleep that out. And I know.
Oh, so they didn't bleep out this.
They didn't bleep out this. Wow. And I know through you that live TV is not always necessarily live. There's always a delay.
There's a delay, so they
like
have
at least a 10-second delay, or 20, like just a good amount of time, just in case they have to bleep things. That's why when you watch an award show and you're like, wait, how did they bleep it? It's because there is somewhat of a delay, even though it's live. So
they let that go through.
Yeah, they let
that go through. It doesn't matter, because I'm even thinking like, for the people that are like, in a control room, you hear a lot of stuff. Like, a lot of stuff is, you hear it. Mm-hmm. So it's like, you choose to let that go through. And then two, like, back to the actor, like, I get, his condition, but it's like, yo, out of all the words you could have said.
Yeah, he's an activist. He was there because a movie, I believe one that was based off of him and him having Tourette's. And literally, like you said, of all of the words, of all everything, and the two black people that are on the stage. Come on. You could see in their faces that they were visibly shocked, but they just kept going. And it just annoys me. Like, don't you feel like you just always have to, like, deal with certain things or certain racism,
and you just gotta eat it?
Like, we just gotta eat it. Like, like, I don't know why that just bothers me so bad. Probably because I've experienced, like, just racist stuff like that before, and it's just like in a professional setting where you feel like you have to just eat it. And it's just like, why? Why do we always have to eat it? They have to do
Michael B. Jordan like that. Like,
I love Michael B. Jordan.
And,
what's his name? We gotta remember his name.
I only know Madeir.
No, literally. Like,
yeah, that's kind of sad. Like,
it
kind of is. It's really unfortunate that it's like, of course, when they go up, that's said. But honestly, like, production, do better. Like, come on, do better. At least let that be a thing where, like, the whole world doesn't know that happened. It could have just been the people there. And I'm pretty sure it would have been on hush if, production blocked it out. But being that they chose not to, it's like, come on, bro. During Black History Month.
I feel like we've been getting hit left and right.
Black History Month don't even feel like Black History. It's like, come on. But that's unfortunate.
Yeah, it is unfortunate. But, we just have to do better. And I'm just tired of, like, his name was, it was Delroy Lindo, Joseph Black.
That's a
Joe Black.
Joe Black. Yeah.
Yes, like, it was going to eat at me if I didn't look that up. But, I feel like we always just have to be the bigger person. And not that we have to, like, just, spark outrage or anything, like, just on a daily. With this situation, yes, like, they're bugging. But I'm not saying that we have to, like, incite violence or whatever. But it's just like, why does it always take us to be the bigger person? And there's always an excuse for, like, things like this. Yeah. And it's just like, guys, it's like, if anybody knows, I know. I've, like, worked in the healthcare field. I know. Like, I've been around many different people. I've literally worked in children's hospitals and all that stuff. And it's just like, I know, like, I see all the time, like, autistic moms on TikTok. There's some where, like, autistic kids are, like, beating and hitting their mom. And then you'll see autistic kids, like, moms of autistic kids in the comments, like, No, like you need to set boundaries, like because it is easy to be like, well, they're autistic, this, that, and a third. And I've worked with autistic kids before. Like it's easy to just do that, and then you have to realize that they're gonna have to be in society as well. And there's autistic moms in the comments where it's just like, no, like you need to set boundaries.
Yeah,
that's it. And if they can do that, like, I'm sorry. No.
Yeah.
And this man looks grown.
Yeah.
You've been living with this probably all of your life, most likely. Like, so it's like there has to be just something inner that is like, it's in the back of your mind.
That's how I asked if it's the hard ER, because I'm like, maybe it's in his mind. And
it's in his mind, man.
And but again, I don't think it's kind of sad that
it is sad.
It's like, dang,
like something that was supposed to be so. Just like an
what is the award show called? The BAFTA?
It's the BAFTAs, and it's in.
Man, we don't care about that no more.
It's overseas. It's the British Oscars.
British Oscars, they can keep it.
Yeah, I don't know if they're gonna see black people in the future. They might boycott.
Yeah, it's always stuff like that too. But honestly, I feel like these actors like Michael B. Jordan and Joe Black, like they just gonna keep it pushing because I feel like they're.
They handled it professionally.
They handle it well. You just gotta keep it pushing. You can't lose sleep over it.
Yeah, you literally can't. But it just goes to show, like, this is what be in a lot of people's mind hidden. They looking at
it be in the back of their heads, and it
be hidden.
Yeah, because there's probably somebody in the room that was like, yes,
finally he said it. I was going to, but
I was thinking that too.
I was thinking the same thing. But, bruh, no. We can't, bruh. This is honestly comical at this point, and I'm sorry. It's just not the apology. Great. Is the excuse gonna cut it though? Because it gave I'm sorry, but like instead of just I'm sorry, and that's what I'm not rocking with. Yeah.
But, I think we had one. Did you want to touch on the America's Next Top Model again, or did we?
To finalize it? Yeah. Oh yeah. That's Tyra. Give a Tyra apology.
A recap. So we watched it, the whole thing.
Documentary, yeah.
This is just a recap. We watched the whole thing.
It was shocking.
It
jaw-dropping moments for both of us.
She said, your mom got shot, so let's do a photo shoot of you. I was like, dang.
Baby girl, her mom was literally paralyzed from getting shot.
No, Tyra Banks is a different.
And she has to they made her do one of the photo shoots of just like, it was like a violence photo shoot of her getting shot in the head. I'm like, there's no way. Yo. There's absolutely no way. And then at the end, like, Tyra's just like, I want people to call me out. I'm happy. But, it gave, like, she kind of led with after, there's going to be a time where you have to be called out. And you're going to have to be, it gave, like, this is my time to be called out. But it'll come for you, too. And it's just like, and then it's preparing for, I guess she said there's going to be a cycle 25. I'm like, oh, okay.
Ain't no cycle 25. That show done. It's so crazy because even when we mentioned last time on the podcast, I remember vaguely of like my sister was watching it and it was just like, TV was TV. But like until I watched this documentary, I was like, yo, this was actually like hard, like harsh. And it's just like, again, back then there was literally no standard.
Yeah, it's hard to kind of like, I saw somebody like put that on threads. Like it's hard to apply 2000 standards like to 2026 standards.
Yeah.
So of that time, because we can't lie, a lot of the reality TV moments based on like Jersey Shore, Real Housewives, all these iconic lines, they still stick in our heads, even though a lot of them were controversial.
Yeah.
They were for entertainment, but like a lot of these things were just wild. Yeah. Like wild.
I think though overall, after us watching the full documentary, it was just the biggest takeaway I had was like the people that are successful in, I guess, say the entertainment space or like that find success pretty quick, do off like a crazy idea or whatever. I don't know. I feel like you really have to be crazy mentally to reach a level of success and be a narcissist. Cause like,
yeah,
I cannot lie. I'm not saying Tyra's Diddy. I'm not saying that. But even just the way Diddy came about his success, like Tyra kind of gave like, yo, she didn't care what it was going to take. She didn't care how people looked on TV.
Yeah, I think it started out with the right mindset.
But then it changed quick.
It changed quickly to entertainment.
But like, Diddy did too. Like Diddy just wanted to be in the that he wasn't even an artist for real. He didn't like he just wanted to be in this space and like he just wanted to make a name for himself.
Yeah.
But then it just got like real dark, and I think it was her too. I'm just like,
this was dark. The documentary got really dark.
Yeah, it's like how far would you go for success? And I think that's the biggest thing where I'm like, I feel like certain people go super low to get success, and I think that's Tyra. Like she kind of went very low, and mind you,
she did not see this coming.
She didn't, and she's sitting in the documentary just like smiling and
it's like I hate the whole like this is Tyra like I understand it.
Oh, performative.
I get it.
Yeah, performative.
Wrong, but we learned, and it's just like oh my god, like
that thing was.
Like, it was just horrible. Like, bruh, it was very performative a lot, just in my opinion. And I think the lesson we can take from all of this is, like, if you do something now, would you regret it if it were to be, like, exposed kind of later?
Yeah.
Exposed. Like, if people talked about whatever you're doing 10 years from now.
Mm-hmm.
Would it be a good thing, or would it still be
because there's stories about that all the time. People are very successful, but then like behind the scenes, it's not as like. Even I think it was the Jerry Springer show. They have
we watched that one too.
Like where it's like
documentary.
Yeah, it's like these stories were sometimes like really fabricated, or like the producers were really just bullying people to kind of do certain things on the show.
They would like be like, they talked about you. And,
and
I don't know if you should fight them or not. Maybe you should fight them. They talked about your mom. Like like it's very.
But honestly, that's why TV is harder to be good now, because a lot of that. Again, was quote unquote storytelling. A lot of it was fake. A lot of it was forced. But now it's not right to do that. Yeah. So like a lot of it has to be more authentic. But
Yeah, y'all. It's just crazy. Like I feel like so bad for a lot of the models, but also a lot of them are thriving. I'm happy, and a lot of the ones that went through like really hard times are thriving on what they wanted to do. And I'm happy for them, but man, it was a rough watch. It was a hard watch. It was just like, oh my gosh, like literally our jaws were dropping. So if you ever get a chance to go watch it, I think they're gonna do a lot of different reality shows.
Like that documentary.
Yeah, like I think they're gonna do like really a lot of different ones to see kind of the behind the scenes. So I'm excited as someone that likes reality TV. Like I'm excited to see kind of like the other shows that they get into. Yeah. But yeah, guys, that's really the episode for today. I think it was really good. Like we always say, if you want to send us stuff, just hit us up through the DMs. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Please engage stuff. Because when you engage, it helps us to be able to continue and motivates us for sure. And yeah, share it with your friends, share it with your mama, your auntie, your
daddy.
uncle.
You gotta give them what they gotta. Give them something for the week.
Oh yeah, sure. So for the week, I would say to make decisions that you will not regret later.
I like that. I'd say for the week, definitely find a moment to just exist.
Yeah.
For sure. Life's already crazy enough. And, sometimes you just go through it without existing, actually. Just take a moment to breathe.
Shoot, I've been seeing on TikTok through the quiet hour.
Yeah, mindfulness moments.
Yeah, like quiet hour. Where
like
it's
nothing.
Where absolutely nothing, no phone or anything. They're just like sitting there.
Unplugged. Yeah. Honestly, I'm gonna need a couple of them out.
Yeah, and then they feel so reset after. You should try it.
I will try it. But that's been a fun episode featuring my baby's toes. That's been popping in and out.
Bruh, he's been tweaking. I can't wait to watch this back. I mean, like,
because he
knocked out,
and now he's knocked out. Like his hands out and everything. Just
I can't see his face. He's just like
But thank you guys for watching. Until next time. We have to find a way not to make this awkward, but bye, guys.
Bye.
I wanna chat with Carli. I wanna chat with Carli. I wanna chat with Carli. I wanna chat. I wanna chat with Carli. I wanna chat with Carli. I wanna chat with Carli. I wanna chat.
Carli and Box.